Hey everybody, it is What DIVOC time, love in a pandemic, what could go wrong, everything. We are now at chapter 14. Time is on my side, midweek, number 10, May 22nd, 2020. Early morning, Kate is wide awake, her mind racing in on overdrive. She's overanalyzing everything. Once again, her good, bad, ugly, and utterly disgusting feelings are all jumbled together. She's grateful that Jake cares so much for her. That's good. There's a touch of bad, as she was clear with him that she needs to practice social distancing to keep her family safe. But Jake decided to drop by anyway. Why is that such a big deal to her? But this is who she is, and he chose not to respect her wishes, even if the intentions were good. An ugly little part also gnaws at her, and she just can't shake it. Men always seem to eventually let her down. She's sensitive to this. History and all, she's almost resigned to it possibly happening again. But without a shadow of a doubt, she's convinced Jake is, or was, different. An over-the-top reaction, maybe? Who cares? It's how she feels. Her logic is built off her beliefs and convictions, not the opinions of others. She recalibrates and contemplates. Stop being ridiculous. You can't hold this against him. It's not a big deal. Nothing bad happened. Stop trying to choreograph everyone and everything. She hears her parents' voices in this self-reflection. Just let it go, she decides. As for the disgusting part, it's Lando. He has abandoned Ryan now more than ever. Even if she hates him, Ryan deserves care from his father. His total lack of empathy has her enraged. This is a lot of thinking so early in the morning. She takes a sip of her coffee and takes a breath. She sends a text to Jake, "Have a great day." She cares for him and wants him to know it. And with no work today, her sole focus has to be herself. Finally, number 1, get Ryan in a better headspace when he gets home from work. Number 2, check in on Emma, what's going on with her. And number 3, Mom and Dad. Are they okay? She's neglected them in her eyes. Guilt, it's a killer. No more distractions. This is really focusing on herself, isn't it? Lando is struggling. His energy is low and he's feeling like crap. But there is no time for that. He has doubled down mentally. He needs a killer show and he wants to get back into Lana's good books. Hotel living is not for him. Wake up call, listeners. We are entering a new phase of this surreal human experience. Stores and malls with entrances from the outside will soon reopen. Our province's deconfinement plan is being unveiled. Do we all agree with it? No. Is it realistic for us to ever think that we'd all agree anyway? No. I am no fool, friends. You won't like everything I say, and I won't like everything you say. But are you telling me our world has people who are always agreeing? No. Bullshit. And are you saying someone's always right and someone's always wrong? No way. That would be too easy to categorize the good and the bad guys into their two clear teams. Life is not that simple. John Smith is watching in somewhat disbelief. Who the hell is this guy talking? This is the brash, rude, first-class, ass-face Lando Prumpt, who's been at the root of John's ulcers for years? He's opened the show with thoughtful statements, not just incendiary declarations. Lando continues. You want truths? Let me tell you what I see. And some of you may not see it in this way, but these are the truths. You don't want to leave your house because of the big scary virus monster, but you want to get paid and stay at home collecting money for not working. And on my tax dollars dime. The truth is, it's fine for a little bit, but this can't last, and it needs to stop soon. Don't leave this debt for future generations to pay for. Another thing, you want others to stay home, but you don't care if they have mouths to feed and don't qualify for the nanny state-free money. You'll shame them if they go out to work. You want the truth? These are the people who are paying for you to stay at home, and some of them might lose their own home if they don't work. Do you want to give them half your paycheck then? Probably not. You also say mental health is important, but if someone suffers due to loneliness, too bad for them. Truth. The mental health isn't an easy fix. It's complicated and layered, and your grade 1 solution sucks. How about this? The kids. You care about their future, but don't want them in school. It's too dangerous. So when should they go back? In the fall? What will you say then when the virus comes back and the science back predicted second wave? They'll need to stay home again. The truth. I thought a kid's education was the most important way to save them from a cycle of poverty. Or does that not matter? Because you are all the ones who contend the university should be tuition free also. And by the way, if this post-secondary schooling materializes, you'll say we have nobody to do all these essential jobs, which are beneath the university-educated elites. Where is your logic? Oh, your solution is to bring in foreign workers to do those jobs. They need them anyway. The truth. Oh, wait. You also don't want the borders open. Your cheap labor from out of country can't come in to pick your strawberries for your fancy hippie granola latte vegan-based strawberry seed shakes. This plan is idiotic. Got some more for you. But wait, you want the economy to restart without restarting the pandemic. A coin has two sides, so it never lands standing upright. Make your bet and pick your side. No, I didn't think so. Get your head out of the clouds, or is it in your ass? The truth is, the real world doesn't work like that. Tough choices need to be made. Wait, your brilliant rebuttal to all of this? We can be safe. Young people can do the jobs. They need the work. These are the same kids who should not be allowed to go into schools and can't get off their all-night video game techie nonsense. Grow up. That reasoning is naive. The truth is you have no idea what to do you? You flip-flop just like the rest of them, but you can't admit it out loud. Hogwash, I say. Oh, yeah. And who are the loudest people saying all of this? The government employees who've been working from home, spewing off about how we should have been able to work remotely for years? I call bullshit on you, too. You haven't built systems that are up to date with the private sector for any online innovation in years. Our public sector online learning and online healthcare services are the pits and outdated. We trail so many other countries. But now we can all get this done, you say. What have you been doing? The truth is, cashing your fat guaranteed checks whether you work or not, squabbling over labor conflicts every time you've been pushed to learn a new skill and innovate. And finally, you were up in arms when the government forced teachers, doctors, police officers, and other workers to take off their religious paraphernalia. Do you remember those days? But now, if you don't wear a mask, you'll yell, "You are reckless," because the government suggests you should. Mark my words, my friends. They'll end up forcing you to wear it. Hypocrites. I say let those freak flags fly off, babies, if you want. I say take off your mask if the government and let the left-leaning la-la land lovers, as they infringe on your fundamental freedoms. You can't let them. And all that to say now you want a solution. Finally came up with an answer. Give me a waiver to sign that says I, person X, Lando Prump, understands the risks, but I choose to hug those that are close to me. I'll live life without fear and judgment from others who want me to act according to their moral compass. Therefore, I shall live with the consequences of my actions. I'll sign it. I say the quality of my life outweighs the risks. And yes, the minimal risks of a slightly more aggressive version of the flu. People will die and the government can't and shouldn't try to save everyone. Truth hurts. The real truth is this. Nature's way of weeding out the weak. Some people are morons and some PC world can't say bold, unbridled truths. Because the softies will cry, protest, and say, "Mommy and Daddy never ever said no to me before. And now that hurts my feelings." Be resilient. Buck up, babies. It's time to put your big boy and big girl pants on. And get on with it. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Not on my dime, that's for sure. I say, COVIDiots, stop making this pandemic worse. I'm taking your calls right now, right after this. Lando leans back on his chair, proud of his sermon, insights, and provocations. He just threw out down the gauntlet. John Smith looks at him, processing all that he just heard. He disagrees with a lot, agrees with some, and is not 100% sure about other parts. Conflicted, confused, and reflecting. Lando definitely came to play today. Midday, and Jake is at the grocery store again. He never imagined this mundane, everyday activity would have become such a huge part of his life during these strange times. Jake has his mask on and is ready for all the directional signs, the washing of hands, and everything he needs to do. He's more aware of other shoppers, the wrong way wanderers, the touchy-feely produce pickers, the not-so-healthy-looking lollygaggers, and stays clear of them as much as he can. What he didn't predict was the ticklish feeling in his nose as he walks in. Try not to sneeze here, he tells himself. He'll be fine. It just must be the pollen in the air, that's all. He finishes shopping without incident and lines up in a traffic jam of carts ready to pay, when all of a sudden the mother of all sneezing fits comes on. As soon as he senses it, he thinks, oh, shoot, and bam, he sneezes. Immediately, heads turn like antelope, sensing voracious cheetah in the Serengeti. The closest merchants retreat from Jake with their carts, backing up while eyeing him like a hawk. Then, bam, 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 sneeze after sneeze after sneeze. He tries to hold them in, but it doesn't work. He sneezes again, but holds his nose and does achieve a less intense sound, but farts something fierce at the same time. It's a full-on retreat by all the customers now. Jake is a hot mess pariah. He's the closest thing to a leper with gangrene, Ebola, and any other random scary-sounding disease that people don't truly understand. Airborne! It's an airborne disease. You should not be here. Get out, screams a customer, as the entire area of 20 people has now become hostile and nervous. Jake tries to calm the pack of strangers. Hey, I'm okay. It's just allergies. Allergies. Don't worry. He quickly pays the cashier, who's utterly disgusted because, well, she just is. And Jake quickly makes his way to his car, embarrassed and confused at the same time. He mumbles to himself, hell, I had to sneeze. What the? And then he just grabs the back of the young man's shirt and pulls him away from a car driving way too fast in the parking lot. It was an instinctual and that he pulled him away from the driving car. Luckily for the young man who was about to be hit. Wait, it's Ryan, who was collecting carts from the shopping cart corral. The car barely misses another parked car and speeds off. Ryan would have been launched straight into the air without Jake's instinctual reaction to pull him away. Ryan is breathing heavily, and so is Jake through the protective masks. Thank you, oh, thank you. It's you. Ryan realizes it's his favorite grocery store client. Jake asks, are you okay? Are you hurt? Yes, I'm good. I'm good. That was close. I didn't see him. The two men talk a little more, and Ryan calms down. Jake offers to go back inside to talk to Ryan's boss about what just happened. But Ryan politely yet firmly replies, no, I got this. Thank you for caring. Really, thank you, sir. But I got this. I'm okay. Jake can see how serious he is. Okay, so you're not hurt? You sure? Ryan honestly smiles back and says, yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I owe you again. Jake laughs. It's all good. And they go their separate ways. William has been on his best behavior for 2 days since accidentally, in his word, hitting Emma. There has been no alcohol in sight and no fighting. Maybe they hit rock bottom and finally things may magically turn around. They've had a couple of relatively pleasant conversations, but there is a strange cloud hovering over the house. Ryan found a moment within this time frame to pull out another chuckle and smile joke fest with Lizzie. His joke was, what is green and flies? A super pickle, of course. And his smile was thinking about how much fun he and his cousin will have this summer when the virus is finally gone for good. I hope. Well, at least that's what he told Lizzie to keep her spirits up. And maybe, just maybe, this portion of the family won't come completely unraveled. Kate has an early supper with Evelyn and Monroe, and they talk, somewhat. She tries to confirm to both of them everything is good, and Evelyn still looks pale, and Kate says, Mom, you don't look well at all, and maybe we should go to the hospital just in case. And Evelyn replies abruptly, Catherine, I'm not going anywhere. I'm fine. I'm just freaking tired of being locked up in my own house, even if it's temporary. I'm not able to do anything. This is not the way I want to live. I'm just tired. But Mom, she responds. Monroe thinks that defending his wife right now will help him get back into her good books. You heard your mother. She's fine. She's just tired. Evelyn doesn't look that impressed, but says, if by tomorrow I don't feel well, we'll go to the clinic. Evelyn's pride and stubbornness won't allow her to feel weak, dependent, or vulnerable. She has never been that person and does not accept that it is someone she can become. Monroe says, "You see, your mom can take care of herself. She's tough, not like all the worrywarts." He thinks this will gain him brownie points because he's supporting her in front of their daughter. Evelyn looks at him, shakes her head, and says, "Don't be a smartass, Monroe, and don't be an opportunist. That makes you an even bigger jerk than usual." Evelyn walks off, and Monroe sits there dumbfounded again, and Kate thinks to herself, this didn't really work. Surprise, surprise, Lando is once again able to flip Lana's anger and weasel his way back into the good books after his inflammatory comments from the radio. Lana decides to once again tolerate her man. This time the gifts were a whole new level. "I know you hate your Fiat, so I bought you a new car," Lando says smugly. Lana still does not love him, and she doesn't even like him, but a new car is a new car. She'll continue to put up with him for now, at least. They deserve each other. With her looks, she is convinced she'll get a new sugar daddy whenever she wants one. And while this relationship is rotten at the core, these two stay together for convenience, money, and superficial reasons, to each his or her own. Kate is finally able to convince Emma to have a little chat on the back balcony. Emma has covered up the bruise on her face, which would have been the only topic of conversation if Kate spotted it. And even with her calculated attempt to hide everything, Emma almost tells her sister about the constant verbal abuse and the so-called accidental slap, but she stops short. She doesn't want to burden her sister with more worries, as she knows that Kate is stressed with life and death situations at work. But the real truth is Emma feels embarrassed, ashamed, and stubbornly figures she can take care of this without anyone else being the wiser. She knows what Kate would say anyway. Leave him immediately. Rightfully so. Emma lets out that it's not paradise at home, but nowhere near the real scenario. Kate jokingly and innocently says, "No matter what, sis, I know that things aren't perfect for you at home, but I win with the biggest loser choice of men award. Lando, who I chose, will always top William every time." Emma doesn't say much and wonders to herself, who's really worse? The one who's a jerk and flaunts it, or the one who's a drunk and denies it? Emma deflects her pain and brings it back to less heavy topics. "But this guy, Jake, he sounds like you'll eventually be the winner of this contest. He sounds like the perfect guy." Kate smiles and says, "Yeah, he wants to take care of me. I do like him," Emma says. "You know, sis, when you're truly in love, your whole outlook on life can change." Kate looks at her. "You said love." Emma jumps in quickly again. "Yeah, it's scientific. Your dopamine levels increase and negativity levels lessen. It's science, and you are a data-driven, my sister. It just proves that being in love is better for your health." They both laugh, and Emma is happy for her sister, but Kate also senses that Emma is still keeping something from her. It was nice for the sisters to reconnect, but it also didn't go exactly how Kate had hoped. Jake shows up at his dad's place, and they decide to go have supper together. Their conversation, relationship, and future have never been better or brighter. A pandemic is horrible, but it truly has been the best thing to happen for these two to reconnect. Mac tells Jake that every day he starts it off by talking to Therese and explains to his son that he is his life. And this is the happiest Mac has been since his wife's passing. Making up most of the lost time together has helped Mac ease the regret he has always felt about how he and Jake grew apart. Life is as close to perfect as it can be during a pandemic for Mac. They smile and they laugh and they talk at length from the heart. They both agree that the most valuable commodity to each possess is time, not money, just the time with the loved ones. It's not easy to see, but some folks have been given a small gift during this pandemic: the ability to slow down, reflect, and reprioritize their lives. The two men agree that the too many people feel stuck with only complaining and whining. As Jake heads out the door, Mac grabs him and holds him. "Son, I don't know how all this craziness will play out, and nobody does. We make it up as we go, and that's okay with me. But I'm not alone, and I'm doing it with you. That makes me very happy." They hug like they've never done before. An hour later, LeBlanc gets a call from the public health department of the Quebec government. He answers the phone and starts listening and listening and listening some more. He finally answers, "I understand. I will." He sits down on his couch and stares into space for a few moments, dazed and confused. He just found out that he had the virus at some point, as they were able to tell from his blood antibody work. He's not infected now, but he has the responsibility to tell those he has been in contact with that he has at some point. He can't believe it. He didn't have any symptoms. He never really felt that sick. He's in utter shock. After only a few moments, which seems like hours, he collects his thoughts and calls Jake. LeBlanc starts telling Jake the story. What? What? You had it? You might have given it to others, but you weren't sick? Jake is perplexed. LeBlanc says, I know. I know. I never meant to. I didn't know. Jake suddenly says, oh my. If I got it from you, then we could have given it to my dad and Arthur. And oh my. I was just with Kate's mom. I need to call Kate immediately. Across town, Ryan gets back from work and sees his mom waiting eagerly to talk with him. Kate says to her son, we need to talk, sweetie. Just then, Kate's phone is ringing. It's Jake. This is not the time to chat. She knows her son is hurting. Jake will have to wait all night if need be. She can even talk to him tomorrow. She does not answer the phone. Ryan needs her, but Ryan doesn't want to talk about his dad right now. Mom, I know you want to help and I love you, but you can't fix this. I'm fine. She replies, at least let me get you something to eat. We won't talk about your dad. Sit with me for just a little bit. I need you, sweetie. I miss you. Ryan really, really wants to just go to his room, but his mom needs him to. He'll stay up a little while with her and chat about anything other than his father. They start having a very heavy one-sided conversation, but Kate is really trying. The phone rings again. It's Jake again. Kate sees who's calling, but won't be distracted at all tonight. She turns her phone off. She knows if there's an emergency at work, they will also call her house line. She just doesn't want anything to come between her and Ryan. He's at least open to talking, even if it's a little bit, and she will not pass this up and get distracted by anyone. Jake has called Kate 3 times, but she hasn't answered, and it went straight to the answering machine on the 3rd try. He's got to leave a message. Please call me back as soon as you can. It's an emergency. He sends a text. Kate, I really need to talk to you. Please call me at some point when you can tonight, no matter the time. Jake goes immediately to get tested, an antibody test and a swab test, as he's not too sure of the process and doesn't want his father to be stressed out for no reason. He was with his dad just a couple hours ago, and he was all fine. As soon as he sees what this is all about and the process, he'll walk his father through it. He'll call him when he knows more about what to do. He's freaked out, however, and a little muddy in his thinking, so shit just got really real. He feels that a matter of life and death has now come to the forefront of his world. Like many people who get the shock of testing positive or knowing someone who has, the level of gravity goes from 1 to 100 on the worry meter as soon as the virus affects a person directly. The c'est la vie, laissez faire, joie de vivre mentality that Quebec is proudly known for may not be the ideal attitude for this particular issue. At the clinic, Jake finds out that he'll likely only know the results in a couple days. The uncertainty will be difficult to stomach, but he doesn't have a choice. Please be negative. He thinks about how Kate will react as soon as she finds out. It's 11 p.m. when he gets out of the clinic, and he calls his father and explains what happened. His dad is also in shock. Jake really didn't want to freak his dad out, but his dad feels physically fine and decides he'll get tested first thing in the morning, as it's too late for him to head out to the testing clinics now. Jake says, okay, Dad, first thing tomorrow morning, and we need to talk with Arthur. We didn't go get him today to get tested, Max says. You're right. Shoot. Okay, I promise. First thing, son. Arthur will be sleeping right now anyway, but as soon as I wake up, I'll be sure to check with him tomorrow morning and we can go together. He's an early riser anyway. We'll both get tested. Back at Kate, she and Ryan chat about everything except the elephant in the room, Lando. But it is a good talk, and they haven't done it in a while. Okay, Mom, please, I'm tired. I had a weird day, and I just want to go game a little in my room and get some rest. Can we talk again tomorrow? Kate smiles and hugs her son. Of course. She is happy that they talk, but is heartbroken for him. This also did not go the way she had hoped. Kate gets ready for bed, and it's been a long day. And she knows this day off was all about her family, and she devoted her time to that. She turns her phone back on, and the voicemail messages from Jake, as well as there's a cryptic text message. She decides to listen. It stuns her awake from her sleepiness. She knows it's late. It's 11:45 p.m., but she needs to call him right now. She hopes he's okay. Jake's phone rings. It's Kate. He takes a big breath. Jake, You okay? Sorry, I turned my phone off. I was talking with my son. Is everything okay? He explains the situation and that he got tested this evening. What? The what? You had it too? Kate says, rather impatiently and upset. Jake quickly answers, No, we don't know if I had it. I feel fine, but you should check for your mom. My mom? Blurts out Emma. I can't believe this. I've done everything to protect my family, everything. And you showed up when I said we couldn't see each other. You might have given it to her. I can't believe this. I told you we shouldn't have seen each other. It was too dangerous. I swear, Kate, I haven't felt sick. I had a couple of sneezes, but that's all. I didn't know. I'm sure I don't have the virus, Jake says, trying to comfort her. She replies, just like your friend who was sure he didn't have it? Kate snaps back at him. Jake knows that Kate is upset and scared and confused. He's also, so he understands why she's upset with him. Jake, I need to have my parents checked. I need to be sure they're safe. I can't talk to you right now. Please don't call me. I'll call you. I can't believe this. Jake sits with his phone in his hand, upset that Kate is so livid. He's mad at himself and very concerned that he could have unknowingly passed it on to others. Kate is beside herself and starts to shake. She's irate and petrified all at the same time. The one person she had come to depend on, the one person who was her rock, was maybe everything to her, has let her down. It's unbelievable. This is the man who would never hurt her or her family, she thought. He may have passed on a deadly virus to her elderly mom. If he did, how could she ever forgive him? This is not how this was supposed to go. Not at all. She jumps out of bed, goes to check on her folks, and they're both sleeping. So she doesn't wake them. But she stares at them through the doorway. She contemplates going inside. But they are fine. Should she wake them? They can't get tested now. No. She will let them sleep and go first thing in the morning. Kate will not sleep a wink. She will sit at the kitchen table thinking all night, listening for any sound, rechecking on her parents until she gets her family up bright and early to go get tested. That, my friends, is chapter 14. See you next time.